Setting boundaries without guilt. Easy, they say. You tell your friend no, the one who's asked you for a favor 5 times this week. And for 3 days straight, you feel like absolute garbage. So on the 6th ask, you say yes, just to silence the guilt eating away at your brain. People always tell you, just learn to say no, set your boundaries, like it's a magic button you can press. But what actually happens is you say no once and spend the entire evening wondering if you're just a selfish person who doesn't deserve friends. Because here's the thing about boundaries. You were conditioned since childhood to believe that being a good person means always saying yes. If you refused to share your toys, you were selfish. If you needed time alone, you were weird. So your brain learned to associate setting boundaries with being a bad person. And here's what's important to understand. The guilt you feel when you say no is not because you did something wrong. It's because your brain was trained for years to believe that other people's needs come before yours. So when you say, sorry, I can't tonight, your brain screams at you, you are horrible. That's just your conditioning talking. That is not reality. If your friend asks you to help them move for the 3rd time, while you're completely exhausted, saying no doesn't make you a bad friend. It makes you someone who respects their own limits. The first thing to understand is this. You don't explain. You just say, no, I can't. Full stop. No invented excuse. No 15-minute breakdown of why your life is complicated. Because the moment you justify yourself, you open the door to negotiation. You say, I can't, I have something on. And they say, oh, okay, but what is it? Is it important? And suddenly you're having to prove that your need to stay home and watch videos you've already seen 20 times is valid enough. Spoiler, it is just as valid. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. If I just say no with no explanation, people will think I'm cold. And honestly, maybe, but the people who respect your boundaries don't push back after a no. The people who keep pushing after a no, they are the problem, not you. The second thing to accept, some people will not take it well. If they're used to you always saying yes, your no will surprise them, maybe even frustrate them. And that's normal. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It means they need to adjust. The third thing, start small. You don't need to revolutionize your entire life overnight. Start with low-stakes no's. No thanks, I don't want dessert. No, I don't want to watch that tonight. You're just training your brain to understand that saying no does not cause the end of the world. And the last thing, try replacing the guilt with pride. Instead of, oh God, I'm horrible, I said no. Remind yourself, I just respected myself. Because setting boundaries is not selfish. It is self-respect. And if you don't respect your own limits, nobody else will. Here's the real secret. The people who make you feel guilty for saying no are usually the ones who were benefiting from your inability to say it. Real friends, good people, they respect your boundaries without drama. They understand you have a life, you have needs, and that's completely normal. Setting boundaries without guilt means accepting that your brain will give you a hard time at first because it's been poorly calibrated. But you say no anyway. You hold the line. And with time, it becomes natural. The guilt fades because honestly, it was never legitimate to begin with. Drop it in the comments. What's the one situation where you struggle most to say no?